Okay, this is going now. So,
All right, awesome.
Okay, so
awesome.
I guess the one thing is just to kind of like introduce yourself.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
obviously, Rob, I don't know, like definitely friend,
Yep.
started as a client type of thing in the gym. And then really ironically, since COVID, it's kind of been like sideways from there.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
you can kind of like introduce yourself to kind of who you want to be.
Sounds good, man.
Perceived as
Sounds good. My name's Rob Jonkhans. I consider myself a real patriot.
Yeah,
right now,
yeah,
that's
for
my,
sure. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
my.
That's perfect, actually.
I just feel it, and I feel like I'm being pulled around by my soul right now.
Cool.
That's honestly, and it's incredible. And,
Yeah, that's like
I can't.
such a direct way of getting to the point with it, and like,
just boom,
I guess you can't explain it that way unless
No.
you feel that way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, no, it was incredible. Ottawa was unbelievable, and I recommend everybody goes there.
Yeah. So I guess like even getting into it for like you kind of want to just dive right into something
Sure,
like that.
whatever,
And then,
yeah,
like,
yeah, whatever you
if
wanted to-
we keep going with that topic. I mean, that topic meaning like I guess COVID and everything in general. Like you're not afraid to kind of like just be outspoken about it. Like
I never have been afraid to be outspoken
and about
in life.
anything.
Yeah.
Like I know that I could, but whereas like I'm not necessarily like that in the sense of I'm not very, I guess, outspoken in general. So, yeah, we can just start with that
Yeah,
and then
no
go
problem,
from there
man.
and then like
Sure,
whatever
sure.
else. So
So just going back to the
I guess,
beginning
like,
a little bit, seeing when coming here regularly, seeing you at the gym,
Yeah.
and then COVID lockdown, garbage, and all that stuff.
here, yeah. So like my question, like, I guess there's a lot of stuff that's like super intriguing or, impressive or whatever, but like, I'm jealous. I know I'm gonna say stuff, and I know what you're gonna say to me. Like you don't like. So I'm jealous of. I think a lot of people are, even just someone as basic as like walking in the store and not wearing a mask, right? Like that's like sad for you to hear me say that.
me cry,
I know
man.
that
Breaks
because
my heart.
you've told me that,
Yeah.
but still like there's still that block. And as far as like, I guess even from being the difference between an outspoken person and
Yep.
a quiet person. So like, what's all that like
I guess
for someone sitting on like a jealous standpoint of like,
It's
I
so
know
easy.
that you, and honest to God, I'm sure you've got this message so many times already, but it's like the time, maybe tomorrow's going to be the day where I feel like I'm not going to care
You
about wearing a
just
mask.
have to
You're going to
decide.
be the reason why I did that. So
just have to
what's
decide.
it like? Yeah. I
That's
mean,
it. You just have to go in. You go into the store like I wore a mask probably 3 times in the last 2 years, and that they were in July or June of 2020 when Costco mandated masks.
yeah.
And and like no joke, I have an old injury on my neck, and
Yeah. Very, very much
I had,
injury.
For real. Like I'm
Yeah,
a young
no, I know.
guy.
I know this
I'm not
because,
weak.
right, like,
yeah,
yeah.
But it became when I couldn't wait. Walking through Costco, and my wife would see me gagging.
Yeah.
Eyes
Yeah,
watering
yeah,
with this mask
yeah,
on, and I said no. I just said no. So I decided no. I hadn't worn one anywhere else, and I'm telling you, it is.
So
it's
do
easy.
do you get grief?
In 2020, I was a lot more. Right now, like I started posting those videos on my Instagram.
And I
right?
guess just to preface this, just your approach at this, and like I think a super realistic approach. I don't find anything you do or say offensive or anything like that. Being a person that can put myself even
Yep.
temporarily on either side of the equation. I don't know where it's going. That grief, like
grief. Yeah. Do I get grief?
Yeah.
Do I get grief? So in 2020,
Sorry, I was going to preface it.
Yeah,
That's
no
kind of
problem.
your outlook on a bunch of other topics around COVID and stuff like that. Like as far as
we don't need so much government overreach.
Sure. So
yeah.
So yeah, grief.
I think the heavy-handed
2020 you did
early on. I saw a couple things that just the censorship, and I took a lot of history courses and governments and overreach, and watched our government giving millions of dollars to our reporters, which
Yeah.
they become a megaphone
yeah.
instead of holding them into account.
Yeah.
But yeah, like back in 2020 when I was going around, my mindset has evolved. It has evolved. I've got videos from 2020, and I was ready to.
What do you
tee off on someone if they talk to me?
Evolved in a mature way?
100%.
Not
So
like it was immature.
it wasn't
but maybe,
immature.
I guess like
no, it wasn't immature. Like if I was walking around head on a swivel.
Yeah.
You know, knowing you're a target, you got to have balls for that. And I'm, you know, you got to have the confidence to do that. And whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So you're going through the stores. In 2020, I had a lot of actual more customers. Like even when you didn't have to wear them. You were fine to not wear them. And you'd have strangers coming up to you and telling you I should wear a mask. I had to stick up for my wife a couple times.
Lots then?
Yeah, back in 2020, yes.
Often, like every time you went out?
No.
Like, was it like, were you like, I'm confident enough that I know this is coming? Or was it somewhat of a surprise that you're like, damn, that many people actually are like...
It seemed off with the way that people would talk to me early on, and it actually fueled my protection of my beliefs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because I felt like they were being unreasonable.
For sure.
Like,
I mean, anyone telling anyone to do anything in public is unreasonable at that.
Exactly. You know,
not, like anything. Yeah.
Exactly. We went to Masonville Mall. A few of us, mask free. You know, it's whatever.
Yeah.
And we talked to a group of kids. They were probably 13, 14 years old, probably a group of 15 or 20 of them. And I was standing there without a mask. And this young girl, that age that I just said, asked me, I engage them because that's what I do. And even when I go for the no mask, I want to go to places that are difficult. I want pushback.
Yeah.
I don't go into a store and like run down the side aisle and hide.
To say that, like in the most respectful way that I've like, So just to like, because people might say like, there's difference between going and like looking for trouble than looking for like conversation and like genuine
asking questions. Asking questions.
So,
you know, my first sort of.
So you were talking. What did the girl say?
Oh yeah. We're gonna do that a lot probably.
That's fine. Yeah.
This girl, young girl, and I'm engaging the group, so it's not easy when you're engaging like 12 people, right? They're like kind of peppering you, and they think you're wrong. This girl says to me, "I just can't believe you would be here without a mask in the store. Like, how can you do that? Like, you could kill people."
Yeah.
And I literally doubled over and I went, "You think I'm killing people by not wearing a mask?"
Yeah.
Like, wow. And then that doesn't make me mad at her.
Yeah.
No, it makes me sad for her
totally.
and mad at the government and all the propaganda.
So that was that was early
That was
on.
no, that one there was probably in the last 2 months.
So when did when did it change from you like maybe getting frowned upon not wearing it to like
being ignored,
jealous.
being ignored. That's how it went. It went from
like
people
eye raise
people go like this, like they'll corner look you. Guys the most, because I think like it's a mindset. Like now I walk slow. I don't walk like the way I normally walk. I want to look relaxed. I want people to see me and go, that have their masks on and go,
do the same.
How is that guy just not caring walking through the mall? Like, you know, I was in Metro yesterday and got there, didn't have my camera on, mask free, even though I'm doing that a lot now. But I hear these two women in front of me, cashier and this person. I heard her go, one says to the other, because I've got, you know, a swivel on for that. I've got an alarm for that. And one says, "It's just been too long. It's just," they're both standing there fully masked, talking to each other. "It's just been too much. It's too long." And then I jumped in right away because that's what I want to do. Drop the masks. That's what I said.
It's so weird for me to say this because like I know like it's like drop the mask, lady, but like
I say it nicely.
Go to Farm Boy on my way home. Maybe not. Maybe
let's
today's
go. I'll
the
go
day
with
I
you.
don't. Right?
Let's go right after this. Hey, let's go.
Jeez. But like I genuinely think that like unfortunately it's taken this long for me to realize that in the sense of but society's changed like in meaning getting
they got used to the masks. They got used to them. Everybody's got used to them. That's the problem.
But more so like for the same reason that you would get grief then and you just get ignored now that like people
they're embarrassed. Yeah. I honestly feel like they're embarrassed now. People don't even see me. And
so I think most people are just walking around jealous type of thing, right? Like they're envious that they can't do it.
I think that was 2020. I think that was the vibe about jealous more 2020. That's why I would get the customers like reaching out to me because they're kind of offended that. Now I feel like the heartbeat of the people has been just beat down. And they don't even see me. I'm a ghost now, which is why I force a polite look on my face, chin up, shoulders back.
You don't think many people in the store are like, you think less people are like, good for him. I wish I That's
telling
what
you,
I think.
because they're dumbed down.
Really?
I honestly think that. I've seen less people. I was seeing more people unmasked up until about November, and then we had another lockdown, and I'm out all the time, no mask. And I'm watching it going, I saw more double masks start coming out and stuff like that. And I'm just going, oh my God, like
Really?
these kids.
So do you get, if when you do get conversations with people, are more people saying like, like kind of not necessarily arguing, but like have a...
They want them off. They want them off. I look for people now. Every store I go in,
Yeah.
I'll get a couple of those on video. I get people taking them off all the time, and I look for them. I make a point when I go into a store, like I said, you know, if there's back when there was someone at the front door guarding, you know,
No kidding.
all you have to say is, you go walking in, no mask, make sure you don't stop walking, number one.
Yeah.
And you know they're looking for you. So when they're looking for you, as soon as they're going to say, where's your mask? Or can you put one on? And you know it's coming. You just walk towards it and you have the words ready to go.
Yeah.
And in 2020, it was, I have an exemption, but thank you. And I keep going and that's it.
Yeah.
You know, I had a crazy one at Costco. I won't bore you with the whole thing, but I had something I'd purchased. It was paid for in there and I didn't have a receipt. I do have this one on video, but I never posted it. It's awesome. And then I went in. I asked the staff member to go get my item.
Yeah.
And I had the receipt in my pocket.
Yeah.
Because I'm not playing their games. I'm putting a stick in the spokes as much as I can in this shit. And if everybody does, it's over.
Yeah.
If 50% of people do, it's over.
Yeah.
You know, I really believe that.
Yeah.
So I'm doing my part. Anyways, Costco, I asked a staff member, can you go grab that? It's paid for right there. He said, you'll need a receipt. He goes in to check. I'm standing there. He comes out, sorry, you need a receipt. And I'd already gone home and traded vehicles to bring this generator home. And I went, oh, okay, I'll get it then. I have no face shield on. I have no mask on. And I go walking in the exit. And I'm telling you, I went, like, I'm coaching myself so much.
Yeah.
Like I'm, you know, head on a swivel, like, you know, you're, cause you want to act respectful, kind of like the truckers right now, you know?
Yeah.
So I go walking in the exit and I hear, sir, all hysterical. I don't turn my head. I keep walking from the right-hand side, the lady. Then I hear the return counters at the North Costco Club. Sir, again, I don't know if they're talking to me. Sure they are, but I just keep walking at the same speed. I don't change my speed, and I casually go walk to there. I walk over, I see my generator, which is at the podium area, they call it at Costco. I grab it, I'm unmasked, and then I push the generator, which is on a shopping cart, over to the podium where there's always a manager at Costco. And I said, could I get a manager to walk me out, please?
Yeah.
And then I stood there and waited.
Yeah.
And two managers came up like this, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just standing there coaching myself, putting a smile on my face. You know, I won't bore you with the rest.
Yeah.
They tried to tell me that, you know, no receipt, I can't take it. I said, here's my card. Go print one.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Like, I don't care about your policy. I'm leaving with this thing, you know? And all the managers know me in there now. Kess is the big cheese at the North Club, KES.
Yeah.
And he's offered me, had several, not run-ins, but I'm standing my ground. I'm standing my ground, you know? And when I do go in Costco, yes, I wear, I call them visors, because you can put on a face shield and you can wear it like this. Yeah. Feel how, you know, you adjust it. Yeah. Oh, this is, you know, you can have fun.
Half of it's all, like, we really want to get into that. Like, half of it's all just putting on a facade anyways, right? It's no different than,
Exactly. Well, yeah, like masks, there's studies, they don't work.
Exactly, right? Like
the cloth mask.
It's like the guy walking into the store like this. It's like, what are we doing here? Like, anyways, So,
you know, the Costco thing was there, and a manager that I've, what's his name? Quentin. Super nice guy. Had a couple, I want to say run-ins, but conversations, you know, and he knows that I'm not playing.
Yeah.
You know, they know I'm not playing. And so he says, I give him my card. And I say, go on in, grab it. No problem. Go print one. Like, so then he goes that way, and I'm standing there without a mask on still. Now I'm by myself.
The Costco card.
Yeah.
It's like,
go print a receipt. Go print it.
Okay.
Even though it's in my pocket.
I know. I did click. Now I thought you were talking about credit card. Blah,
no.
Yeah,
the Costco card.
Yeah, it's like you have it.
You can see I bought it this morning. It's paid for. Like, you know what I mean? Like, piss off, guys. Totally. So he goes that way, and then I'm standing there, and I went, oh, I should probably, like, I'm standing here. I may as well just go out to the car. My truck was parked right out front. So I go walking out. No one says anything. It's paid for. I've got my name and taped on the generator. And I stand out front. I just stand out and I'm going to wait for Quentin to come. He's printing a receipt. Like, it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Go get that printed. See ya.
Yeah.
I'm getting in my truck. So then I wait a minute or two. I see him back in my truck right there. I'm like, I'll just walk it over, slide it in. The generator was on top of the cart, you know. Mm-hmm. So my truck's pretty high. I was able to just slide it in. Heavy, like you and I would lift it in, but not by yourself. Yeah. You know, it's too big. So I put it in and push the cart back. And then I go walk over and wait for Quentin to come. Well, David is this manager that I see through the 2 double doors. I see this guy. I don't know if you're old enough to remember. I didn't watch wrestling, but I know the bushwhackers are.
No.
They walk like this. This is how this guy's walking.
Sure.
You know? I see a guy and I know. I smile on the inside. Here we go. Yeah. I just know it's coming. Yeah. So I stand there again, coach myself to relax. Mm-hmm. I don't want to escalate. I want to let them act stupid.
I mean, it just adds stress to your life at that point if you're...
Exactly. Yeah. But I'm going to stand my ground. So I see this guy come walking out and he's like, he's shorter, bald guy. His name's David. And he's like, where's your receipt? You need to get a receipt. Like, that's his... I saw his body language coming through the door. So I knew what was coming, right? I knew what was coming. So he's pretty close to me too. I don't care how close people get, but you know, if you are a COVID person, like... probably shouldn't be within kissing distance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyways, he asked me that. Then he's like, where's the generator? Where's the generator? And he's acting crazy. And I said, it's in the back of the truck and it's not coming out.
Yeah.
That's what I said to him. And he's like short circuiting, like he's supposed to be the one in control here, you know? And then I said, and he's being uncomfortable. And this guy, Quentin, who's good, is also there. And then I went, you know what? And I pulled out my phone. It was super sunny. I wasn't recording this, but I said, I think I need to record this. And I couldn't even see my phone because it was so bright, right? So I thought I swiped and pushed record, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
I found out when I got home that it did record the rest.
Figure,
yeah. So it was awesome. So it was awesome. So I have the rest recorded. So he goes, he goes, when I said about recording, he's like, you can't record me. I didn't give you permission. I said, we're in public and I don't give you permission to record me 17 times when I go through Costco.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So, then he's acting belligerent again. And I just said, where's Kess? Big cheese, right? Where's Kess? I don't like talking to you. Where's Kess? Like, I just don't play this bullshit. You know what I mean? You want to talk to me like I'm an idiot? Get out of my face, you know?
Guy.
So he's like, oh, you know Kess? Like, you could just tell. It kind of rattled him a little bit. They're doing a staff barbecue down the side of the building. It's like Thursday or something. They must do it every end of the month or something. So he starts marching like, you know, I need to go behind him and follow him. So I casually go over there. He starts trying to tell Kess what happened. But the funny thing is, David didn't see shit. He doesn't have a clue. Yeah. He was told something. That's it. Mm-hmm. So then I tell the story, what happened, buying the generator, blah, blah, blah. And I said, Kess, like, why am I still here? You guys are having a barbecue. David's got a chub on for me. That's what I said. You got to talk to him about how
why we're still here.
How he deals with people.
Yeah.
Because his body language before he even talked to me wasn't good. Yeah. You know, wasn't good. So then I said, Quentin, this guy here, he's awesome. He needs a raise. And Kess is going, oh, geez. He knows me by first name. He's like, oh, geez, Rob. He's giving him lots. And I said, and this guy needs a pay cut right in front of him, eh?
Yeah.
Because he needed to get his wings clipped a little bit.
I agree.
You know,
he needed to get that, and like,
it does not like you always want to take it there. But I stayed pretty relaxed. But you know, there's a time and a place.
Well, it's like, all the it's the weird power that people think they are entitled to or whatever, and like that's a whole rabbit hole on its own. Like with the bylaw, like I've had smoking inspectors come and ridicule me for like stuff as bylaw. It's like, what are we doing here? Yeah, like they, you know, like when everything was closed and it was like all hands on deck. Every department of bylaw was coming to address complaints about everything. So like the two guys that came one time were like their City of London cards say smoke-free environment inspectors, you know, that like for the guys that get complaints when people are smoking too close to buildings or like cigarette smoke.
Wow.
I'm not talking like fire.
Yeah,
I'm talking
yeah. Cigarettes.
So anyways, yeah, it's just that where like I bet you that guy's not the same, or maybe he is in a sense, like pre-COVID.
100%. And that, and on that point, like I've put a lot of thought into this. The first problem with turning this around is dropping the masks.
Yeah.
Second problem is, I'm going to draw a blank here now. But the reason the mask, I'll just talk about the mask for a second. You know, what I can't stand about the masks disgust me.
Yeah.
Kids disgust me. It's abhorrent. It's abhorrent.
You know what? Actually, so Tatum's. I mean, it's like nothing to brag about, but Tatum's never worn a mask ever. She's never had a mask on her face ever.
Yeah,
which is like I see kids what I think are her age, like you know,
parents that have mental illness from the propaganda. It's not even their fault.
Yeah,
the propaganda. We're being bombarded. We're being bombarded on the alarm clock when your alarm goes off in the morning. They're talking about COVID. Yeah. You know, they're talking about it on everything.
So another thing has to be like. Related to some sort of power. Like,
that's what we were going to say. And that's, you just brought me back to my second point. Mask number one, because of the habit, number one, the habit it creates.
Yeah.
It becomes a part of your life. Yeah. It's like your socks, your watch, women, girls, they can cover up their face if they got a pimple, or guys, I don't mind wearing the mask. It needs to go away.
Having said that, like I don't know what your next three things are, but like, is that a pretty easy thing to do?
But what's that? It was one pretty easy thing to do.
Okay, like
sorry, I just want to make sure.
Like drop the mask. I'm kind of jumping ahead, like, and in meaning if we're talking number two, something to do with like bring everyone back down to reality as far as their power goes.
And
like,
you're touching on that. That is number two for me. The consistency of all these mandates and rules.
Yeah.
They're enforced different everywhere. We went to Collingwood back in the summer. We said we'll never go to Collingwood again. We're never going back.
Yeah.
It was a shithole and an embarrassment.
Really?
Sorry, we're allowed to swear here. We would go every year.
Yeah.
They got rules. You can't go hiking, and
really?
it was like
that sucks.
it was so horrible. It was so horrible. Yeah. So much government overreach. It just ruined it for us.
Sure. So
and the powers
together
the powers everybody has.
Different, I guess. Yeah, like mandates being everyone doing their own thing. Is it that both? It's probably a mixture of mixed signals to we'll say just businesses and then societies and people, and then it's also mixed between how those people take it and do it.
Yep.
Meaning, like how would
they apply it to their own?
Yeah, right. Or like I guess it's overall. At the end of the day, there's still an average to kind of base it on, like meaning even province to province, how different it is and like stuff like that.
Exactly. Look, Saskatchewan's dropped all.
Yeah.
Recommending to drop everything, throw COVID away. Saskatchewan. The rest of the world is.
Yeah. I know. But Ontario, and we're insulated in Canada, let alone Ontario being like so different and like
the science is different in Ontario. No one can deny that. Anyone that doesn't want to agree with that, they can just take a walk off a pier.
And then, so even out of those two, what would
like the masks and the power?
Is dropping the masks easier than
the masks? Is no. I'm getting people to drop them all the time. The
masks, or is it a matter of just being told you don't have to wear them anymore?
I honestly think, yes, that's part of it. And I've said this to people lately too. I really feel like, because it's so easy to get people to take them off, honestly, it is.
Yeah.
I had a guy in Cabela's in Ottawa. Yeah. Just, I'm in there, I'm looking for something. I'm standing, there's a cabinet like this high. So my head's over top, my head's over top. And a guy comes and looks at the other side. Our faces are probably 4 feet apart. Yeah. We're looking at each other, and he's got this bright blue mask on and I don't.
Yeah.
And I just looked at him and I said, man, like, this is what I say all the time.
Really?
Usually now. I said, honestly, I haven't had anyone even look at me in here.
Did he say anything to you?
I can see the looks.
I get it. I'm sure. I'm making sure that's what's happening, right? Like,
and I'm looking for it.
Yeah.
So I just said to him, like, we're this far apart.
Never
with the thing in between.
We're
this far apart. And I just said, honestly, man, nobody said anything. Why don't you just take the mask off? Just decide. And he was like, and he just went like that.
Really?
He's like, I'm
not really.
People want to take them off.
I don't know why I'm so surprised. I'm surprised because at the end of the day, it's such an easy decision for people to take them off if they're like just even gently pushed in that direction, but yet everyone still is. So, but I would have to think that being told you don't have to wear a mask would be the first big thing that changes, or no? Am I wrong?
You mean with like the government saying that? No,
or no? Like based on other places, like
they want us to wear the mask.
Buddy said he went to Miami 2 weeks ago and he didn't even have to wear it in the airport.
None. Whoops. None. There's Florida. I know a lot of people in Florida right now. I'm sure you've heard too. Florida's wide open except for some.
So you think they're just going to hold on to that? That's going to be their thing. They're going to hold on to.
They're going to hold on to that as long as possible because they think what I think, that it's the biggest piece of the puzzle for their narrative.
Okay.
Because it's a pure visual.
Yeah.
It's a pure visual.
Yeah.
You walk in.
That's not even
it creates fear immediately. You know, you walk into any store. Trust me, I get on. Like I don't show it. I show confidence when I'm in those stores. But when I see a bunch of masked people, like not wanting to wear them because no one does.
Yeah.
You know, another one of my favorite things to say to people is. I think I told you about this one, but those when I was in Rona, I told you about that one. You know, these two like younger guys behind me. They have a gym somewhere around here. I can't remember. They were East Indian or no, they were. Doesn't matter. They were Arab. They were awesome. Yeah. So I see these guys come up behind me, and I'm the only one. There's a guy cutting the key at Rona for someone in front of me. They're both wearing masks. I'm next in line, and then there's two young guys behind me not wearing masks. When I get in those situations, I smile on the inside, not because I'm better than anyone. I laugh. I go, how the fuck is this real life? How is this real life that these guys? So I looked at these guys and I thought, am I going to do it? Cause I'm talking to everybody. And I went, you know, you never know. Two guys working, you know, obviously in good shape. Maybe they'll take offense. I'm like, fuck it. I'm doing it. So I just turned and I said, hey guys, if you don't love wearing your mask, cause who's going to say they love wearing them? So you say, if you don't love wearing your masks, why don't you just take them off? No one said anything. I've been through the whole store. No one said a word. They're like, really? People don't know that.
I don't know that.
You don't know
I'm
that.
getting anxious thinking about that. But also that like a flip must switch when you actually come to a self-realization that that's the place. That's the reality is people now like you're probably not going to get anything. I wanted to ask this earlier because it's so when you see like someone on your end of it who was obviously never like your side of it, like when you see people like getting dragged out for like, you know, the headlines like man doesn't wear masks, probably not so much around here. Maybe these random cases more like, you know, probably in the States. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being.
Some governments are worse, and they're a little more.
So, like, you think most of the time that is the case, or like it's just a little bit of like the guy robbed the store before, and like, meaning like, is that still is that a reality? Do you think that's a reality for people going in other places not wearing masks? That's a threat to them? Meaning
that the people in the stores think I'm a threat coming in without a mask?
Somewhere else, yeah. And then like when you see the cops dragging them out or someone dragging them out of the store because they're not wearing a mask, is that real places?
It happens, absolutely. And even when we were coming home from Ottawa, we stopped at some burger joint and I walked in. Again, I love going to these places that I've never been in because I have no idea how COVID-y they're going to be. So I go walking in and I don't stop talking. I can tell by the look on their face they want to ask me for this, but I'm complimenting this burger joint.
But if they don't speak up, then they don't care enough. I mean, care enough in they don't believe in their belief enough. I don't mean care enough in the sense that that's the proper thing to care in. Where maybe like whatever they truly don't think that it's worth speaking up over you, or they don't care. Yeah,
absolutely, it could be. Yeah, absolutely.
So you went in there.
So I went in there. She didn't ask me for anything. I ordered 3 half-pound burger combos and stood in there for a bit. And then I went out to the car to see my buddy Chris and my son. And then I go walking back in and I stand to wait, like maybe 10 minutes later. And a guy comes out from the back and he's got a mask on, even though I've seen in the back room and no one was wearing masks, but he comes out wearing a mask. And then he's got a mask in a plastic bag in his hand.
Yeah.
And I love these situations because I can tell how uncomfortable he is already just thinking about what he's got to do. I'm the manager and here, can you put this on?
Yeah.
No, thanks.
Yeah.
No, thanks. I haven't worn a mask in 2 years, a couple times in 2 years, like I told you there. Mm-hmm. And I'm good. I have an exemption. So, but thanks, I'm good.
And
he stands there and he goes, can I see your exemption? And I said, you're not allowed to ask, but thanks for, and I said, if you want, you can call bylaw and I'll wait for them. I'm happy to wait.
Yeah.
I have no problem waiting. So why don't you just go call them and then we can, because you know what they're going to do? They're going to come in. They're going to ask me if I can wear a mask. And I'm going to say, I have an exemption, but thank you. They're going to get in their car. They're going to drive away.
Yeah.
That's it. And then he's going to get an education, but he backs down at that point.
Yeah.
And that was it.
So is that like, is that him? What's the deepest reasoning for him doing it? Because that's their protocol there. And
I could tell
he has to like, because no one wants to do that unless they're unreasonably like power tripping.
Go back to your thing. They get a little power out of it, you know. No, I'm not taking anything away from these guys.
Then those are the guys that walk up and like, you know it. You get that feeling from him with his chest up, not like, you know, this like here's a bag type of guy.
Yeah.
Like how many guys do you know don't want to be asking this question versus the guys that are like, ooh, I've been waiting for someone to walk in without a mask on so I could stick it to him.
There's like, what's the ratio?
Yeah, like do you get more?
Question.
Do you get more people that are like? Because I would
definitely
like my business. I let people do what they want. Like
that's probably
I've never done like, but I think a lot of reasonable businesses do handle it that way. Maybe not because like I don't know. Maybe that's my perception of things, or giving people the benefit of the doubt that are reasonable. But yeah, how many people do you get that are skittish asking you or like chest up?
I'd say the percentage is almost zero for chest up, but I like
that's
it's
a little
rare.
reassuring.
It's so rare,
which is good.
If you just know that the worst thing that's going to happen is you don't get your product and you leave.
Yeah.
Why not stand there and ask a few questions?
Yeah.
Make it difficult.
For sure.
When I leave there after asking some questions and standing my ground, not being belligerent, just saying, you know, asking questions and making points.
Yeah.
I'm fully confident that they're not going to be as confident going up to the next person. You know?
Yeah.
They're going to think twice, and that's what I want to do. That's my goal, you know?
Yeah.
I'm always thinking about the next person coming in.
Yeah.
So I want to just, you know, I've got a couple buddies, they haven't worn masks either. We've been talking about it, you know, for the beginning. You just have to decide. Throw your masks away and decide. That's it. That's it.
Isn't it odd? Like
it's funny the look on your face. I know, because you just can't believe that.
I don't care. I've never asked. I don't like. Is it weird that like I've never asked one single person to put on a mask coming into any of my businesses ever, nor have I ever contemplated it.
Yeah. Yeah. Be careful
like,
saying that on a podcast.
I don't really, you know, like it's what's gonna happen. Everyone that knows that, and anyone that's reasonable gets it, and anyone that's unreasonable, I don't really care.
And that's how it should be. You know, if you're sick, stay home. Like we all know there, you know, you and I talked in the very beginning about lockdowns a lot, you know, and I said like the secondary causes, I was saying them before our first lockdowns: overdoses, abuse, kids, like think about that. Think about, we don't even know the scope of that damage that's been done to kids. Like my kids are in a good spot, like good spot. I'm lucky that way, but it's still horrible.
Yeah.
It's still horrible. Like what is a public education? You know, when you and I went to school in, let's say, elementary school, I said this to my son's principal last week or the week before. Like, honestly, Mr. Pratt, what's a public education? 7 out of 10, 6.5? Like, don't lie to me. That's realistic in a normal year. What is it during COVID? How much education are these kids getting? He didn't want to have that conversation.
Of course not.
You know, and he's a big masker too.
Because like even me, to interject.
Yeah, it's fine.
Education, a grade school, elementary education is not, that word education means life lessons, means like, it's not what you learn. I mean, it's not what you learn from the book necessarily. I mean, maybe we realize that now because that's been taken away. The interacting with everyone else, the being a kid, the
learning facial expressions,
the simple human interactions. Like that's what, yeah, of course he doesn't. Because now it's like 1 out of 10. Like
exactly.
You're getting the bare minimum work done. And then that's it. You're not even like interacting. And thank God Tatum is in the situation she's in now.
Has no idea. Like, the only thing that she knows is like, Mama, Dada, wear a mask. Like,
No,
that
not TT.
bothers me. Hey,
not TT.
that alone, the fact that she knows that pisses me off.
I know. Me too. And that's like, when I say that, when I hear that, I cringe a little, like when she says that. And but it's like, that's one, like there's probably people
you know in your heart that it's wrong. That's why you cringe.
I do, for sure. But it's like, luckily she's in a super good spot where that's the worst of it. She hasn't, she doesn't have these human interactions taken away. She doesn't have like, she's got
a great daycare provider.
Amazing. Literally, like that in itself.
I know.
No COVID is like one, like super, super lucky.
Yep.
So the fact that that's the worst of it is a really nice thing. But so I can't imagine like what it's like going through like being great in elementary school at all. Like high school, you probably, I mean, but elementary school the most, obviously, like it would be, you don't have it. You don't go to elementary school. I mean, for what, 2, maybe 3 years?
You know, they had the next time the teachers want to go on strike, I'm going to take them on next. I don't care. I will take no offense to anyone who's a teacher. But 3 years ago, the teachers strike took away my son's grade 8 year.
Yeah.
The teachers strike. Then in grade 10 or at grade 9, when he went to Medway, he was not allowed to play any sports because he didn't have any because of COVID. Yeah. Then in grade 10, which he's in right now, like he wanted to play, do this, do that, do that. He's in grade 10.
You don't have options. It's not
he's
even
in grade 10 of high school. And the third year, like I told you, the teacher's strike took away everything. Then COVID canceled everything. And everybody, I'm not saying he's worse off than anyone. Everybody's got their own, but I'm just focusing on highlighting his case right now. So teacher strike, COVID, and the third year, this year, discrimination by the school boards. That's why he's not allowed to play, because of a medical decision. That's so fucking wrong.
No kidding.
So he's banned because he's unvaccinated, as am I proudly.
Yeah, can't play.
Can't play, man. And it's like, and here's another.
Even sillier.
It's ridiculous.
Because he's like a kid. I mean,
it's ridiculous.
It's a rabbit hole after rabbit hole that just like is absurdity. That like
here's to add on to that point,
being like limited because of that. It's like,
so I have a buddy. My buddy's daughter goes to RMC. My son goes to Medway. So Medway, when you're not in class, your options are these are your options. When there's no class, like you're in a break or you're in between class or it's lunch or whatever, you can, if you want to stay in the school, you have to stay in your last class. So you can't see your friends.
Yeah.
So that's your option. Or you can go outside. What's the temperature like?
It's like now? Going to have dinner. It's like outside dining.
What's that going to breed?
Exactly.
Colds and sniffles. Then they can't go to school.
Yeah, true.
It's ridiculous. So that's at Medway. At RMC,
it's different.
The Catholic School Board, this is the shit, man. The Catholic school boards, the Regina Mundi, they're allowed to go in the cafeteria. So the science is different. That's what I've been saying from the start. The science is different in the Catholic school board and in the public school board, Medway and RMC.
Well, I went to a Catholic.
It's ridiculous, man. So did I.
Isn't that hilarious? That's funny. I want to check this real quick.
Yeah, man.
Because I want to.
No problem.
That's insane.
It's ridiculous, man. And it, like, what does that do to the kids? Like, here's another story, a great story. I wish I knew the teacher's name because I'd love to mark her out right now, but I can't remember it. So, my son Robert wanted to, she goes to Medway and she's a history teacher. Anyways, my son has told me about this he's a great kid. I'm not, we're all biased.
No, totally.
Kids, for
sure. He's awesome. Yeah.
He's not a troublemaker, respectful.
Very respectful. He's
a good kid.
Yeah.
He's a good kid. Surprisingly, he's
mature,
But,
yeah.
But anyway, so we're in Ottawa on the weekend and, I wanted to stay Monday. I wanted to see the first day of weekday. I wanted to stay. He wanted to get back. My buddy was like, I'll do whatever. I brought Robert back. It was only 2 days left of the semester, and he was pretty excited to talk about what he'd seen.
Yeah.
He was on the fence going at first.
Yeah. And
I let him choose, but I told him, this will be one of the biggest moments of your life.
Yeah. Okay, let's
talk
about this. Is that what Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
he
So,
went-
so that's what I said. So he decided, and then when we can talk about the thing, but I just want to talk on this one point when he got back. So he goes in Monday. That Medway teacher. He goes into class and he's been throwing up, like he has Snapchat. I don't, but I think I understand that it's similar to Instagram, let's say ish. They have stories. They have stories.
Because this is like how this is going to affect him in his back in life.
Exactly. So all of his friends were watching his stories while he's been in Ottawa, right? And they're loving it.
Are they?
They're loving it. And most of them are vaccinated.
Yeah.
One kid, I'll leave his name out, but Robert told me about this one kid who is in the camp that we are. And this is what breaks my heart. His parents obviously didn't do the research, to each their own, but they said they would let this boy choose if he was going to get vaccinated, but he wouldn't be able to visit his grandfather in the long-term care facility. And he's got all these kids have cell phones now, right?
Yeah.
Think about us back then.
Yeah.
These kids have access. I'm not saying they're smarter, but they have access to way more information than we did at that age. Like in grade 10, what was I? Yeah. I'm just thinking so these kids,
Yeah.
Anyways, he knows he's sending Robert the same stuff. He's awake. To me, he's awake on this whole thing.
Yeah.
And he said, no, then I don't want to get vaccinated. And his parents came over the top and made him after they offered him the choice.
Do you think that happens a lot though?
Oh man. I think, I don't know if they let a choice go and not, but I think there's a lot of kids that
don't want to be.
I would say yes, because of what I just touched on. They all have cell phones. It's easy to find information out there now. It's pretty easy. And once you start seeing that they're censoring this and there's masks, like I told you right on, the masks are bullshit.
Yeah.
They're bullshit. And now the CDC says it 2 years later.
Yeah.
All the things you couldn't talk about, just like Rogan said, like the Wuhan leak, right? All that stuff that you got banned off social media for, and now it's fine.
Yeah.
Because it's true. So we can't trust these big tech companies. And
I wonder how that is. Like, so he went, even him going back to school after seeing that, like, is
that
he
history teacher?
Is he the hero type of character or like the villain type of person?
So it depends if it's to the kids or the teacher.
Completely, as a whole, it's one or the other.
Well, this just happened. So he goes in on Monday.
I don't even know necessarily which one it would be. Like, I know where this is
Depends
going,
on
but
the
I don't
teacher.
think it's very obvious that, like,
depends on the teacher,
continue,
right?
Yeah.
So he goes into his history class that he was looking. They only have 2 courses right now with stupid rules, whatever. So he goes in there and she says, "Oh, does anyone know what's going on in Ottawa this weekend?"
Okay.
That's what the teacher asks. And Robert has like 6 or 7 friends in the class that go, Robert was there, which is too bad because then the teacher's true feelings weren't able to be told.
Yeah.
So she quickly says to him, "How was it?"
Yeah.
And I've heard he's told me this teacher's been difficult. And I just said, whatever, figure it out. Because you're going to have to work with difficult people sometimes.
Sure.
So I had heard that from him throughout the school year. Now I get to this day, right? And she goes, how was it?
Yeah.
And he told me that he just told everything that it was. It was beautiful. Hugs in the streets, dance parties in the streets, DJs spinning at the middle of a busy intersection.
Yeah.
It was busy with people. There was no cars parked, pickup trucks parked sideways over medians.
Yeah. So
insanity, So this teacher, he says that to her, and he starts talking about all the happy things that happened.
Yeah.
And he said he made sure, because he could sort of feel a bit of negativity from her. He could sort of feel that. So as soon as he finishes, this teacher goes, all he said was amazing, good. And then the teacher goes, "Well, did you hear about all the statues that were vandalized? Mm-hmm. And did you hear about, what's the other thing she said? Some other negative thing. The Nazi flags. Did you see any of the Nazi flags or anything like that?" If anyone wants to look into that, if there's something out today that shows where it was taken, it's at some hotel which is away from all the action. It's not even near there. They show the place.
Well, it's a plant.
It's a plant.
Even just
staged.
Even unmotivated people in one direction or the other, just people that want to cause shit are
Absolutely.
like so easily available to like do anything they want. So it's like you don't even have to be against the people there. You just want to stir the pot and like.
So pay someone to walk around.
Everyone has access to do that if they want.
Yeah,
so
you see the guy with the Confederate flag walking around.
Exactly.
You see the mask he's wearing. If I had seen the guy, I would have pulled it off him.
Yeah,
I would have yanked it off him. Got a picture of his face. Let's find out who this guy is.
Yeah.
You know, everybody that, you know, in the videos, they're all going, what are you doing? Get out of here.
Yeah.
Like,
and honestly, like even to kind of bring it to like not point fingers, it's like even as an educator then it's like, or just a human in general, like it's like, why would you focus on the one negative potential out of 100 positive things that Robert just said? It's like, what are you doing? Like,
why would she do that? Because that's what she thinks. That's where her beliefs are. She's against all this. She thinks it's wrong.
Yeah. So does he have?
That's my guess on her.
Does he have another experience with another teacher? That's like,
he's only unfortunately got 2 teachers. He would with his yeah, it's all good with his phys ed teachers. He's got some great teachers. Robert. Yeah, he's a Robert still.
I do call him Robert. Yeah.
We've been able to hang on to that so far.
Yeah, like it would be a little nice if he could have the experience, but he probably does. He probably does have the.
Oh yeah, his friends are lighting up.
Even
they
teachers
love it.
were like, was he like any of the teachers were like low key, or not even like openly? I don't know why low key.
Unfortunately, because it was like
so
there was 2 days left in the term. No, well, there was 2 days left in the term when we got back Monday, Tuesday, and like it's already done. He's at home for 3 days until the new term starts next week. So like you're right. If he had a normal upbringing in high school like we did with 5 teachers, he probably would have had half and half.
Yeah.
Right. But unfortunately, he had this one who's, you know, probably a Marxist, and she's, you know, kind of in that negative vibe, you know. So
let's go to that. So he went, like, you went down there on Ottawa, like, on what?
We went down on Thursday night. When I didn't know if I was going to go for sure. I wanted to go on the weekend before, and I thought, I need to book a room first and then I can decide, you know? So I found a room with a cancellation, no charge, and then I could breathe.
Yeah.
And it was going to be just my son, Robert, and I, and then a buddy of mine who was going to go. I'd asked him the day before we were leaving. And he goes, oh, unfortunately, man, we were trying, but it's not going to work out. And so I just texted him back. No, I phoned him. Because the text just came in, I phoned him right away, and I said, Chris, no pressure. I have 2 beds, 2 queen beds. It's just my son and I. I've got a ride. You know, options there, brother. So he jumped on it, and then we had a great.
Robert, like, did he ask you first, or did you?
Ask
it was
me
just like in a conversation. You want to go, or like?
So I wanted him to go.
Yeah. Because would you have been disappointed if he said no?
I would have probably worked to get him there. If he had decided no. Because he as a kid, he doesn't know. He hears that he's going to go to.
But he's also like, why I asked that is because he's super reasonable and mature kid.
Yep.
Like
He's a good kid.
What he's like. And so he was hesitant.
He was hesitant because of you think we're going to leave Thursday, be in the car.
Yeah.
Then we're going to stay Friday night, Saturday night, come home Sunday, maybe late. And,
was his hesitancy just school or the unknown, or like what was down there? Was it was that environment intimidating to him?
I think, to be honest, I think with a kid, he's not going to have his access to the comforts of his house for a few days.
Okay. Yeah. That's,
I think a bit of that.
I mean, that's the best case. Then it's not like I'm asking that because it's like, not that I would, but you don't know what that environment down there might be. But I think he's conditioned to not be intimidated and kind of like thinking it through in my own head. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway, so he was like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah. He's like, let's do it. So we head down there. The ride up was the greatest drive.
Just don't know how your horn's not, do you have to get it replaced yet?
It's funny you say that.
I'm like, how are all these horns just lasting this long? Like everywhere. Yours, it's like.
It's so funny.
And then you posted one where the windows must have been up or something.
Okay.
And you were going, but you couldn't hear the horn going.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm like, the horn died.
It's funny you say that because I got a bunch of messages of people who are loving, just loving the sharing the experience. And one of my guys I used to work with long ago, he said, hey, Robbie, I'm going to replace your horn when you get back because it's the least I can do for all the fun you're showing us.
So you went up there, it's just a big like convoy?
We left the convoy was leaving from around noon from Flying J, and we had a lot of friends that went there to do the send off. And Chris and I, my buddy and I and my son left maybe 20 minutes, half hour in front of them.
Yeah.
And because we're just in front of them,
you saw
every overpass,
just packed.
Every overpass, all the way to as far as we could go, where there was people on every overpass. So a shout out to all the organizers that planned that, because that is not easy. Logistically, all the way from London, all the way to Ottawa, timing it so that each overpass is full of people. You got to get people there. Yeah.
Time-wise,
think about the logistics of that to get 150 people on every overpass when they're going under it. It was incredible.
Wow. Yeah.
And the people were just flags. There was one guy who was in a genie lift, or a Zoom boom. I can't remember what it's called. Yeah. He's up there and he's standing there with a flag, on top of that. And my buddy Chris, shout out to Chris, every single overpass.
He had it out there. I saw him. I'm like, dude, you guys are crazy. Not really. It's awesome. Yeah.
I can't tell you the excitement.
I can feel it. Even knowing,
everyone.
Right, I can't feel it.
And he'd throw that out. We'd have to make sure we didn't get rear-ended by a truck because we're slowing down a bit.
My question, another one is was there any accidents or
you know what?
Injuries?
I know.
I'm like, man.
When I decided to go,
not necessarily from the road, from the overpasses, I'm like,
when I decided to go, knowing that there's going to be this many people, I knew that I don't want to be heavy, but I knew my life was in danger, and I'm not trying to be a law of averages just said,
who knows? I think it was that first day. It was there was a little bit of snow and everything that, and it's people are hyped. They're looking over here, you're looking at an accident. You see one accident, you see cars. Every single car slows down to do it. So imagine that times unlimited.
I did hear there was a convoy. I haven't verified this. Maybe I shouldn't say this here, but I did read it. So to me, it happened.
An accident somewhere.
Someone died on a highway coming from Chatham, and they were heading up there. And I don't. Again, I got to research this, but just to answer your question, I did hear that a convoy turned around that was from Chatham because someone died on the 402.
And there was footage from it.
I didn't see any footage.
I read something that there was they were looking for footage or something. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't matter. But that's
not good. It's not good, but it's gonna happen. Same as
people are wired. People are riled up.
It's not even that. People are riled.
Even just traffic in general. That much motion in one motion.
Exactly.
In one
something's
direction.
Gonna happen.
So you guys, how long
we get up
the
there.
Drive?
The drive, because it was slower.
Was what, all day?
I want to say the GPS said probably just under 6 hours.
Yeah.
But when we stop and slowing down for every overpass and all that stuff, so I think it took us 7.
Yeah, that's not
7 something. We stopped here, had a meal.
So you guys get up there.
So we get up there, get into the hotel, and we went out. This is a good one. Just back to the masks thing. So to describe the hotel. So I go into the hotel again, not knowing how they're going to be, but shoulders back, chin up,
sure,
put a smile on your face and walk in. And the manager comes over to me. You got to wear a mask. And I said, I'm good. I have an exemption, but thanks. Yeah. I'm good to go. When you just dismiss it like that, they don't want to bring it up. Kind of like you said, it's wrong.
Yeah.
They know it's wrong too.
Yeah.
So they have that initial ask. First. They want me to just bow.
Yeah.
And if you just resist a little bit, they will almost every time.
Yeah, for sure.
Every time.
They're just waiting for the first line of resistance because they're 9 times out of 10 the people are skittish
100%.
Towards it. So yeah, he's you say.
So I say no, and I push back. And I said, we're here to take the masks off everybody, bud. So we're here to take your mask off.
Yeah.
So that's why we're here.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh shit. He's probably thinking I'm good. I don't want to have this conversation anymore.
I'm off in 10 minutes. So I want to go home.
Exactly. So he leaves and go up to our hotel. So that's how it started at the hotel. Well, you can imagine we got in the night before. A lot of people came in the next day.
Yeah.
So people come flooding in.
individuals.
Everybody's there. Flags out, pickup trucks, all and by the end of it, or by the next day, when I came down after, you go down to the lobby, everybody has no mask. No one's wearing a mask. Yeah. And
I've seen this on your Instagram.
You saw it on my Instagram. It's like a shell shock. Like even for me, I was so proud to be Canadian.
Oh man, it's terrible that that's what I have to.
You got to just change your thinking.
I have to even you, right? The fact that it's even a shell shock for you is that's what we are.
It's not like I was scared. I wasn't scared.
No, I know.
I wasn't scared, but it was like,
that's where we are.
I know.
Yeah.
Because we've allowed it to happen,
Totally. Yeah.
Mike Hart, I got to throw a shout out to him too. He had a post up eons ago, like so early in this, and I've quoted him every time on this, and it said, "Your reward for complying is more restrictions." Yeah. Take a second and absorb that because it's 100% true.
Proven at this point.
100% true. That's all they've done. Now they're talking interprovincial, I don't know how they want to do interprovincial truck driver vaccine mandates now. Supposedly Justin Trudeau is triple vaccinated. He's off with COVID right now. We all know he's not have COVID. He's running for them, but he's showing us how well the vaccines work.
Yeah. If not,
right? Because they try to say now that they were never intended for, to prevent it and stuff like this. Yeah, they were.
Yeah, that's
they all said, all the reporters, the Joe Biden, all of them, there's videos of all of them. I have it saying, if you take this shot, you won't get it. Yeah, you won't get it.
I mean, but now anyone that it's like the common thing was like, go get it. So you don't have to worry about getting it.
Exactly. That was the beginning.
Was like, but now walked out of there like you didn't. Mm-hmm. I walked out of there like, oh, my life's back to normal now because I have the vaccine and I'm not going to get it.
Yep.
And that's like just I guess, yeah. So,
and I've, in regards to me, not getting, early on deciding it wasn't right for me or my family, I've done a lot of thinking on. I've had people now reaching out to me saying like, how did you know?
Yeah.
And I'm going, I didn't. Yeah. I didn't know. I just had a feeling. And when I watched the censorship, paying them reporters, all this stuff, I just went, I can take it in the future if I need to.
Yeah.
I don't need to rush. Why would I rush? Yeah. I can't get it out if I take it. I can't get it out. And when they were saying go back to normal if you get it.
Yeah.
I know government enough. And I know myself enough that if I had taken it and then they didn't go back to normal, I'd be real mad at myself.
For sure. Yeah.
Plus with all my, my surgery history definitely. And stuff like that. So I'm good.
Yeah.
So I'm good on
let's
that.
Let's go. You get there.
Yeah.
So you wake up in the morning, no one's got the mask on. It's like, oh, awesome. You must be like, I'm in the right place.
It was amazing. It was just incredible. Everybody hugging, like so happy, get names, contact info from everybody. Yeah. So then we stayed in Canada just because I didn't know how much of a lockdown there would be. So we wanted to be a little ways out. But this weekend when we go back, we're staying right downtown. We're staying at, can't remember the hotel, but it's right downtown.
What? It's just like trucks going to the city and just clogging the city?
So they're trying to prevent them from,
clogging,
completely clogging, but they're sitting there. You've seen the videos honking like 24/7,
just like
everybody's celebrating, walking,
around,
so happy.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I have
the happiest concert.
Every single thing I've seen is that it portrays that,
and you can't even feel it through the phone. Trust me. Like,
no, I believe it.
It's probably 1/100th of what it is. If that's might not even be enough.
I hate talking to you because I hate making excuses to you because it's like, I don't know. I would love to go down there and be there for the,
let's go
for the
coming this weekend
for the just
experience,
the like being at a football game with 100,000 people in it. It's just
all
that
in the streets.
It's not the cause that's driving me or drives my curiosity to be there. It's an atmosphere, I guess.
It should be the cause though, buddy.
I know,
you got a daughter.
I don't
mean
the cause. Yeah. I don't mean to say it like that. I don't really know, like, what would you define the cause being there?
Freedom. One word. That's it. We're not free. If anyone wants to, do you think we're in a free country right now?
No, I think
no
question. I think like
it's obvious we're not.
We're one of the few that are not.
100%.
I mean, you can't really agree with. You can't disagree with that.
No honest person can say we're not.
Just based on like you put it in a line. Who's allowed to do what? We're down here.
Exactly.
So okay, so I do like but is life good enough excuse not to go?
Life? What do you mean? Like
shit, I
whatever
gotta
you
do this
no,
weekend.
No, everyone should go. And I honestly think that there's a good chance that this weekend will be bigger than last weekend. I truly believe that because everybody that went there had an incredible time. And you know my buddy Alton.
Yeah, yeah.
He came from Albania. He came from a war-torn country. He's seen everything. You know, he's been here for over 20 years. Solid guy. Early on in this, he was telling me he was the first one to say to me, "We're going communist." Yeah. Super early, and I was like, "What? What?" Now look where we are.
We are. Yeah, like not to say we're there, but
we're
like,
not there. Well,
but
getting
it's
close,
just like
man.
there's things that
close.
resemble certain things.
Yep. But here's what he said to me. So then he would tell me I should be careful being too vocal. And that is never going to stop me. You know, I don't care about the consequences. I'm going to do what I think is right.
I mean,
because for my kids, I need to.
What would the consequences be?
Well, you know, I'm a realtor, you know, I don't care business.
So
that's something you might alienate some people.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
You might
I get
alienate
that
some
because
people.
I had a conversation earlier about like, okay.
Yeah.
So you take that risk. That's something that you're
take that
aware of.
risk.
It's not like,
But I have to do it. Early on, I saw a sign, not even in Ottawa, but I saw a sign that said, I need to tell my kids that I did not stay silent. And for me, having studied history and European governments and Stalin and Lenin and all those things, I have to. Whatever happens coming forward, what I think's coming, I need a clear conscience for the rest of my life.
I want to ask you about, because of like the answers you've got though in the past, like what has come about this so far. Do you still think you'll lose? I think you'll gain more clients.
That's where it's going. That's where it's going.
At this point, then lose. Like, again, how many people are going to not want to take off their masks? One. How many people out of 10 are going to be like, need that little push, take it off? 9 of them are going to be like, I want to take it off.
Yep. You're right. So maybe I'm going to go the other way.
I think,
but I haven't been like, as my job, I'm supposed to work more at it, and I'm preoccupied right now. So
I feel like that maybe, but I feel like that's definitely a no.
It's worth it for me.
It's
worth it for me.
More people are gonna support you because their lack of self-confidence to act on certain things. That they're gonna like put their eggs in your basket now because you're willing to do that more than the people that are going to take them out.
Yep. Kind of. I think you're 100% right. Kind of the way that it's sort of, you know, it was, 2020 was a long road, man.
For sure.
2020 was a long road.
At the beginning, I could see that, like, you know, you would just not get caught. Like, I would imagine it would be flipped.
Yep. It absolutely could, you know, and Yeah, but early, so, you know, some of the amazing, funny experiences in Ottawa.
Yeah.
Liquor store right downtown there somewhere, lined up. They closed it on the second night. So it was open Saturday, lined up, people drinking in the streets, partying in the streets. It was just unreal. Obviously drinking out of residence, like they could have got.
Yeah, but like, I feel like you would be a cliche Canadian, like that. They're not going to be scrapping. Like, maybe there's always those people that are looking for.
I don't think anyone who's there for the right reasons would cause it. But the people I worry about is the people who are on our government side, who they pay, actors like that, the flag people. I truly believe, you know, I truly believe those weren't real people. Those were actors paid to try and undermine the movement.
And again,
you know?
There's also people that are just shitheads.
Yep.
But for sure, I know what you're saying.
I 100% believe that they're intentionally put there. Just same thing, you know, to talk about the not U.S. thing in January 6th last year. There's FBI, CIA guys that are like, you know, fed, you know. So we were worried about that going down there.
Yeah.
I thought about that. We're not going inside any buildings, you know. And I talked to a bunch of cops, talked to a bunch of truck drivers. Every single everybody's happy. Everybody's happy.
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Was it not? Can the truck drivers go to the States if they're unvaccinated previously?
They could for the last 2 years. Yeah. During the heat of the pandemic, which proves it's not about a vaccine. It's about control. They were allowed to cross the border unvaccinated for the last 2 years. All truck drivers.
Really?
100%.
Oh, I thought it was
No,
like
100%.
on whose end? On either end.
Both. There's so much commerce back and forth in Canada, like in US.
Right, I guess
it's crazy. So
they were.
There's Doug Ford's has something that's floated out in the last few days about that, because he's saying, you know, truck drivers have been. It's an old video. It's an old video, and he's saying thanks to our truck drivers when everybody's on lockdown and our truck drivers are flying back and forth. There was no vaccines then.
Yeah.
And now, you know.
Was there a lot of Americans there as far as truck drivers, or no? Most it's like a pretty much.
I did see. I'm
sure there's like scattered in here.
I saw some U.S. plates. I saw some U.S. plates, and I actually I talked to one guy, the only truck driver when we were there. Maybe someone has got one now, but to get a ticket. And what happened? He's parked on a street by himself.
Yeah.
So these trucks had come and parked here, and he had more guys with him, and. The cops came to them and moved, and you guys got to move. You can't be on the street, because they're trying to put the trucks in certain spots and you know, keep a little bit. I get not wanting to shut it all the way down.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I get also bring the pain.
Yeah.
You know, that's how we're going to finish this. So,
so he got a ticket for what?
He got it. Oh
Just
yeah. So he got it.
To move?
So basically everyone else moved because he's the only guy sitting there. And I've got an interview, I videoed a little, asked him a couple questions, and he's going, I said to the cops, I said, this is a protest. It's a protest. They're like, we're going to tow you. And he's like, go ahead. Yeah. That's the only way this truck's leaving is with a tow truck.
Yeah. So it's probably his proudest
But the tow trucks, where as we talked about, earlier, is tow trucks are saying, nope, we got COVID. We can't come. So they get it.
Yeah.
They get it. They're done with this too.
Same. Yeah.
All we need is for the police officers to think about their own kids a little bit.
Yeah.
Think about their own kids going through this stuff, and then they move over. It's done.
Yeah.
It's done.
Meaning what?
Meaning they don't enforce what they're told to do by the politicians
in a positive way. Like
I want them to say no to the politicians for any enforcement on this stuff too. That's what we need.
But you don't think they do?
Well, they're
not saying no. They're just not enforcing it.
Well, they're allowed to protest, but in that one in Alberta, Montana. I've seen pretty much good handle on what's going on, and they're threatening enforcement several times and being hardheads. These cops are being hardheads.
Your overall perception of the police in Canada I don't see them. And even the ones I talk to, like, I've never talked to a police officer that insists or is pro enforcing anything.
That is pro enforcing anything. Well, I guess then you should check the RCMP what they're doing, because they are
just going like ham on.
They tried to bully these truck drivers down in Alberta and Krauts or something. I can't remember the little town.
So more
intimidation factors
specifically for like what goes around and involved in protesting.
Yeah, and I would just like to see the police remember that yes, they are. And I haven't seen a lot of enforcement, but there was Toronto cops there, a group of like 15 Toronto cops in Ottawa. I saw a group of the same London cops dressed in, not crazy gear, but just walking around in a group patrolling. That's awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I just mean, I know a few police officers in London too, that didn't want to get vaccinated and they're mandated to, and I don't know where that's left now,
I just, from my conversations with like police officers in general is like, they're on the same page we are on.
I hope so.
Mostly.
So when
like everyone's like, yeah, I'll never, like, to be completely blunt about it, is like every police officer I talk to about what I should be worried about with the gym, they're like, it's not going to be us. Don't worry about us. We're not going to do anything. We're not coming for you. We're not, I'm not speaking online. But it's the fucking bylaw.
Yeah.
That's like, bylaw. And this is a little bit different, removed from like, not to blend the two together. That has like anything to do with like what's going on in Ottawa. This is, I guess, is more just day to day who have to look out the window for. It's never been police.
Yep.
From my,
I guess, I mean, like I was told at one store I was in up there, I can't remember if it was the burger place. One of them, like they'll call the cops.
Yeah.
I said, go ahead.
Yeah. So, but that's what they like. That, I'm like, they're like, call me. I'll come and tell this bylaw to kick rocks.
Awesome. That's awesome.
I think that's the business owner. Like I would believe that 9 out of 10 times, that guy's going to call the cops. The cop's going to come and say, let me see your thing. The exact same thing you said the bylaw would say. The cop's going to be like, okay, have a nice day. Like, let's go back.
Well, I've seen a lot of stuff. Maybe you got a couple good ones, but you got to remember too, they were all forced. Anyone on the staff right now has been forced to get jabbed.
Yeah,
right?
but that's kind of why I asked about before, is like, you don't see a lot of people getting dragged out in situations from police officers. Like if even 4 out of 10 police officers were like enforcing it, people would be getting dragged out of stores all over the place, right?
Yeah. Well, there's not a lot of people. Like, I watched the mask get a little bit less, and then I watched them tighten up with that last.
Maybe
like,
even just like businesses in general. Like, where is the room for where maybe there isn't outside of Ottawa and what's going on there? Maybe there isn't. Like, what would police be enforcing?
What would police be enforcing? Like up there?
Pertaining to day-to-day COVID life.
Well, it could be like I just said, if I've been in a store and they've said, we're going to call the cops.
Yeah, but have they ever called them?
No, they haven't, but they want to. I don't know because I say go ahead.
Yeah.
Like, I'll wait. I just challenge them. I'm not backing down. But that's not even
like, so that I would argue that doesn't give any validity to the to the argument of what police are enforcing. Like, police are not enforcing anything pertaining to COVID. Like, I mean, you see the videos where they're kicking down the doors of Thanksgiving with like, but it's hard for me to like base an opinion on like kind of one or even like two offs. Like, we're talking Canada, like there's going to be 2 might mean 100.
Well, if you pay attention to what's going on in the Alberta-Montana border, the cops are being dicks over there, the RCMP. They are federal police, so they have a little more control on Justin's personal, attack dog. So that could be the difference. On maybe municipal is a little better. Yeah. They were forced, many of them were forced to keep their job by taking a shot. So an experimental shot, forced to take an experimental. There is nothing you can get in North America that's been approved. Nothing. They pulled a scam. Everybody thought, it's approved, the Comirnaty or whatever back in August. Nope, you can't get that in North America. It's somewhere else. Yeah. So it's all a shell game, man. It's a shell game. So they've got that in there. So to me, I don't, they did that to keep their job. So I don't know. They've already proved to me in my mind that they can't be trusted fully on that, because if you're going to do that and you're not going to stand up, like, you had the chance to stand up right there. You had the chance and you decided to bow. They did. Yeah. Unless they don't care and they love the experimental jabs, if they love it, great. And they trust that, fine. But there's a lot of them that got forced.
Yeah, but that would go the same with like anyone for their profession that opted to get it.
And it's all wrong. Exactly. We all could have stood up there.
Yeah, but like but you don't like,
because that's illegal,
those
right?
people though now.
In a way, I don't think they're bad. I know. I don't think they're bad. I just mean I love to see people waking up now. That's for, I don't care jabbed or not. Amazing. Yeah, Come on, let's go. Yeah. That's what we need, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But if people have bowed for that reason once, they'll do it again. That's my experience in life.
Yeah.
There is a movement going now, and maybe, gives people, I'm not alone, because that's why we're on lockdowns and secluded and isolated and everything like that. Because how many, like, I was starting to think many times, I'm confident out there and I'm chin up and stuff. There's times where it's hard. There's times where it's not easy, and I push forward because I believe that I have to do this. You know what I mean? I'm not stopping.
I get it. Yeah, for sure.
Until it's done. Until all mandates are gone. Everything's gone. Everything's gone. I'm gonna keep putting a stick in the spokes everywhere I go.
So, so Ottawa though.
Ottawa.
So back to that. No, it was so there's not people giving out tickets all over the place or anything like that. Like
nothing.
For the most part, police.
You know what? Here's a good story for you.
And like
2 French people. I just got to tell you this. You just reminded me of this. There's a people walking around, a guy and a girl. And he had a paper bag that was like this big. Yeah. He's holding a paper bag and it's rolled at the top. So he's got something in there. And he's walking around. He's got that paper bag is full of cones. It's full of rolled cones with giant filter bats.
Yeah.
And he's walking around saying to people, his girlfriend is saying, if you delete your Vax Pass, I'll give you a free joint. That's what they're saying. It was unbelievable. Yeah. So I said to him, I said, I don't have a Vax Pass. I'm not playing that game.
What if I rip my fake one out?
Here you go. He's like, take one. He didn't care. So it was pretty funny.
That's funny.
Pretty funny.
So, you're going back?
We're going back. We're going back this week. I have to. I would have loved to stay. I'd love to see what it's like during the week because there's still a lot of people. I do think there's a chance that there's more people this weekend. I really do. I really do.
The
people that were on the fence.
Is this like yeah.
All the people that were on the fence getting pushed.
Is it just indefinitely going kind of thing?
They say they're staying there until the mandates are dropped and COVID is dropped.
I'm prefacing this next question with, what about the people in Ottawa? Is it just like collateral?
What?
Like
what do you mean the people in Ottawa? You mean the businesses that are getting affected?
Yeah.
What about the businesses in Ontario that have been affected for the last 2 years? Come on, shut up, people in Ottawa. We're here to fix it for everybody.
But what if but they've also been gone through that in Ottawa. I just mean I get on the mass thing, it's a bigger purpose, but what about maybe they're not, maybe they're thriving. Maybe all those businesses more people, downtown are just thriving or
there's all kinds of people that there's so much
maybe
food
not,
being
maybe
donated.
yes, maybe no. I mean, it's just, I just overall, I don't think the word disruption. I think disruption isn't necessarily a negative connotation to it. This massive disruption in the heart of your city is there has to be admittedly pros and cons that come with that.
Absolutely.
To the people that are there before the protest and that will be there
absolutely,
after the protest.
But you know
it's
what?
A bigger, it's kind of unfortunately shit happens type of thing.
Yeah. Well, look at back to our prime minister, you want to talk about how long they're going to stay there.
Yeah.
Well, our prime minister went and knelt with BLM and marched with them in riots. They actually desecrated and destroyed all kinds of statues. You can find the videos. Anyone wants to look for them. He marches with them. He won't meet with these guys that are people, families, kids.
Maybe after he's COVID.
It's,
I'm just fucking with you.
I'm like, come on, man.
But no, that's I think that's pretty comical.
But what's he saying though? You think about that. He's triple jabbed and he's saying he's got COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's all
but you want to mandate that I get it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll just
no
take
kidding.
the COVID.
Yeah. It's almost the perfect thing for him to happen to him or not happen to, or it's a perfect card to play, but it's kind of the absolute wrong one.
As well too. I don't know if you know this or not, but if you have COVID, or had COVID, and then you get vaccinated after, you're at a much high. I won't say a percentage but it's large. I can't remember it, so I don't want to say a number. People can look it up. It's much higher than you would think. It's way more. It's
wait, what to get to what is number?
Oh, sorry, the number. Oh, sorry, the number. Your risk for adverse reactions. I didn't finish my sentence.
Yeah, after you've had
if you've had COVID, and then you get vaccinated, you're at a much higher risk. And you know what? It's science. That is literally science. They have this data. It's out there. If our government is still today, like I said, mandating interprovincial borders for the truckers, and they're not testing them before, seeing if they have antibodies, do the math.
They're just kind of digging them in. You're
putting yourself at a higher risk of natural. If you want to say, you have natural immunity, you had COVID.
Is it realistic to think that there would be such a reasonable approach at it?
A reasonable approach.
Meaning going with if you've had COVID, you're not necessarily you've more protected than not having COVID, but having the vaccine and just the stuff that it's that there right there. If test them for antibodies, they don't this, that. Is it unreasonable to think that there could be an
antibody test?
No. Not even that they would do that. Is it unreasonable to think that that would be a course of action for people to do for the mandates to do is test people to see what status they're at.
That's what they should be doing.
But is it unreasonable to think that that's
in the U.S. There are I don't know what it's like now, but in the last few months, there's been lots of antibody tests available. You can buy
like
them
at the end of the day, it's like there's certain things that seem so much to be common sense that's just like put to the wayside. Was it wasted energy trying to make common sense reality? Or is it like in middle between that we should find that it's like, okay, I get there's like a policy aspect to it all. It can't just be like common sense rules. Like,
common sense rules, to me, this is what it should be from the beginning. I remember back in October 2020 and Canada was around 10,000 and change deaths from COVID, around 10,000. And 80% of them were in 65 and older in long-term care facilities. And, I went down and, Roman Baber is, right?
Yeah. I do it from you, yeah.
So I just called him up, his office, and I said, I have to come down and meet you. And I talked to his assistant or one of his assistants. The guy had no problem. I said, I'll come down next week. You pick the day. I'll take the day off. If you can give me 15 minutes, it's worth the drive to me. And they were going, what? So then I drive down there. We had a 2:00 appointment. He showed up a half hour late. He's like, sorry, so sorry. I'm so sorry. I said, no problem. This is what I'm doing for the day. I planned for this. It's all good. And then we went into his tiny little office. Like his office was no bigger than this, maybe a little more. He's in the back corner. I'm close. His desk was not even like this. And one of his assistants sits to take notes, like the minutes. And we sat there and shot the breeze for 90 minutes, an hour and a half. He gave me of his time. Turn the phones off. At one point, he's reading something to me on his phone. And he goes, like just a true gem, like a real good person. And he goes, I said, he shows me something. And I said, can you, what's the address on that? I'd love to grab that. He goes, what's your cell number? I'll text it to you. Yeah. He texts me he sends it to me like that. He gives me his private email, not his government one. He said, this is the best email to use. And, his number's in my phone now. I've reached out to him, not a bunch.
And what? That's just a prime example of common sense rules?
Back to the common sense.
That seems like a logic guy's guy, not to be like.
He's the big lie on this whole COVID thing. He's in government. He was kicked out of the Conservative Ontario Party, right? The big lie, what he told me is the risk. And what I just touched on with back in October of 2021, or maybe it was 2020, that 10,000 number, I can't remember in Canada, probably October 2020. But that number was 10,000. It was like, if you think about that, that means there's only been in the whole country outside of a long-term care facility, like 200 deaths. Okay. Well, now let's break those down and see what kind of people, what their comorbidities are and stuff like that. And then you go, why would I take it? Yeah. Why would I take it? It's
crazy.
But,
so you're going again when today? Going again. What's today? Today's Wednesday. So like
heading down Friday. My wife has an appointment and then I'm heading down.
Are you going to like just play it week by week? Like
we're going to go down.
Like if it just keeps going, you're going to kind of, I'm going to go every week when you can type of thing.
I can't stop.
Yeah.
If anyone goes there, you'll want to go back.
Yeah. I'm going to like,
But there's Toronto. Toronto's got one this weekend. They're doing some truck thing. Ottawa would be the best. I've never even been to Ottawa.
I like
to Parliament.
Too,
Have you been there?
Maybe when I was
Parliament?
like
I haven't.
7, grade 8 graduation trip or something.
Gotcha.
Actually, I don't know if I have. Maybe driving through, but not necessarily. I don't know. Not that I remember, obviously.
It's beautiful. Well, aside from being a government city.
No, it's aside from architecture and everything.
Yeah, but the buildings, gorgeous. I don't even think we could build the stonework on the east building up there. The stonework is cool. I don't think they could do it nowadays. I don't think we have the skills anymore as a human race.
Anything else you want to bring up?
Anything else?
Let's come back though. Like,
sure, man.
Like, especially after going back, comparing the first one to the second one.
Sure.
So like, you never know. Like, things have changed day to day, let alone week to week, let alone month to month. So like, we could be having hopefully we're having a whole different, man, it worked. Or, never know, but
if you come, there's a better chance that it works. Drop your mask and come to Ottawa.
Feel so weird. Like, it's for some reason, especially with you, I feel like my excuses just
that's all they are. That's all they are.
They melt to you. They mean
That's
nothing
it.
to you.
100%.
Like,
There's
and
not.
I know
I'll defend you though. I'll defend you though on why you wear a mask more. I know why. I think I know why. You're a super nice guy. You're like my buddy Chris, who came with me. He came with me and he saw me in action up there. He's a good buddy of mine. We don't see each other very often, but when we see each other, we have a riot, you know? And he's just going, you are unfucking believable, Rob. I can't believe this. And he started seeing me and he's getting taller, just seeing me. And I'm not being a hero, just having conversations, starting people, trying to change minds. If I don't try, I won't change any, you know? So then he comes back and he says, I'm done wearing masks. I'm done. I'm not wearing it ever again. I didn't go to that protest to come home and wear a mask. Nope. Yeah, so he's fired up, man. Yeah. He's fired up. And all the other, I've got women that, follow me. They're sending me, oh my God, thank you for the inspiration. Like it's because of you.
I'm send you a fucking message saying, look, Rob, I'm in Farm Boy without a mask on.
Amazing.
Not that, like, why am I downing myself for
business owner though? I never finished to defend you on why you wear a mask more. You're a very nice guy. You're very courteous. Same as Chris. Same reason that Chris just took his mask off. Mm-hmm. Very courteous to other people. Mm-hmm. You're not that I'm not. Maybe it's because I'm an only child, but you have that and then you have your business, right? You have your business and you have people coming in. You don't want to make waves.
But does it make sense that I've never worn a mask in my business?
Well,
that's what you're supposed to contradict what you're about to say.
No, because
I don't wear a mask. The only place I don't wear a mask is my fucking business.
You feel more comfortable here.
And I don't ask anyone to wear it or anything like that, but I wear them when I'm out. Why? Because I just don't want to offend anyone. I don't want to offend anyone.
You don't want the comfort. Some people, a lot of people,
for sure. That's it. I mean, there has to be. Even for you, like you get every now and then. It probably goes in ways. Days you don't give a shit. Days you're like, do I really need to go in here? Because I don't want to. So that's fine. That's like part of life. It's the same reason you get nervous before, whatever. Yep. But I guess I don't want to offend anyone, but I don't care. I'm using that as an excuse, but I don't care.
So this, like what you're saying right now, this is what I see on people's faces. All the noise we've heard for 2 years. It's chaos in our heads. We don't know what to grab.
100%
and that's
it is.
By design. Yeah. I truly believe.
It is. That's exactly what it is. Even like, it's just chaos
you can't,
in your head.
Up is down. Everything in our society, up is down, left is right. Boys are girls, girls are boys. Like literally. It's crazy, And so, I'm waiting for the ground to stop moving. Yeah. And once the ground stops moving, then I'm going to push forward. But for now,
just stay grounded to what you are.
I got to do it.
Going,
I got to do it. It keeps me sane.
I'm going to try. I don't want to say this here because Jade's gonna be like, you can't just say like.
You can. You can.
I want to find a time. Like, it doesn't matter when it is. I don't.
Go right now.
Exactly.
Go right now.
It doesn't matter. I can go up in a day and come back. Just like I want to get that feeling of. I compare it to 100,000 people's at like the Michigan State versus Michigan game that I went to when I was a kid with 100,000 people packed in the thing. It's like, not that you'll feel 100,000 people around you, but like the atmosphere is
unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable. And with the mask thing for you, just decide.
I will. That's something that like,
and you don't have to fight. You don't have to go in. You don't have to argue with people. If you don't want to, like I said, I evolved to where I'm at. Yeah. 2020 was rougher.
Yeah, right, sure.
I practiced. I had a lot of experiences. I had a lot of experiences. Like my first big one was, I'll just one last thing. In October 2020, did I tell you about the Popeyes thing? Sandwich? I just told someone today. They were asking me about it. No. Okay. So I go into Popeyes because they had just brought out their chicken sandwich, which I won't. I'm done. I don't eat that. Right. This is the last thing I ate there. It was good, but I'm done there. Yeah. Anyways, I walk in no mask. Yeah. And this is October 2020, and I did have a camera going. And I have this still recorded. I walk in. The first girl, I can just see as I'm walking up. And again, I try to be calm and walk up. Hey, how are you? Not recognize their trauma. You have to wear a mask. You can't. I said, oh, we can't serve you if you don't. Oh, you can't serve me because I can't wear a mask?
Because I can't, yeah.
Sounds like discrimination. Yeah. Sure?
Yeah.
And then she says, I said, is it it's our store policy. Okay, is it your store policy or head office policy? Like, you just have to think a little bit. Make these people explain themselves, because they know, like, as you said, it's ridiculous.
That's why
in their heart they know.
Explain myself to anyone. Telling them to do something that I don't want to explain myself to.
Exactly. Exactly.
Business. Yeah.
Exactly. So she, nope, can't have one. And I push back politely. You know, I'm not leaving. And then, I said, is there a manager? Brings a manager over. Nope, can't, can't. Again, I have this on tape. Can't. I keep asking questions. I go into whatever I went into with, you know, I can't do this. And then, can I not just get a sandwich so I can get out of here?
Be done already.
Like,
You've
what
already
are we doing?
spent more FaceTime with me than you need.
You know what she said? Fine. And then gives me the sandwich and I leave there.
What is that?
I have that on tape. So
Fine.
You just have to, and you know, some people might say, oh, why would you do that? You're pushing, you know, because it's wrong.
Yeah, totally.
I firmly believe it's wrong.
That right there just proves that, like,
yeah,
she could have just said, hi, how you doing? When
here's
you
your
walked
sandwich.
in. Yeah.
And then I did call head office, and head office said it's not our policy.
Oh, so yeah. Well, that's the thing. Everywhere you go, it's something different, even within the company, right? Like,
exactly.
Yeah. So okay, so you're gonna come back.
I'll come back, and you're gonna tell me you went mask free a couple times. I'm going the next round.
A couple times. Once it happens, I'm never
just
going
decide.
back. Yeah.
Just decide. Throw your masks away. Yeah. Just decide. You don't stop hanging them on your friggin' mirror and your shifter. Yeah. Like, get rid of them. Yeah. Get rid of them. If we all decide, it's over. And then, just to touch on that again, that is the biggest reason to keep them going, this pandemic going, is masks. The visual. That's why.
I get it. It does make sense. Like, you don't even have to be have some, you know, like deep wormhole conspiracy thing. It's like, it is when you look at other places like Florida or down, like, it's like there's a whole different, I haven't been there, but there's a whole different, I'm sure there's a whole different vibe just because you're not blocked by this. And it would be like, imagine how much it would change if that simple thing was out, but you know, even everything else was still in place. It'd just be like that much more, I guess, moved in the right direction. But
absolutely,
I guess here we are. So
absolutely.
Okay. Thanks.
All right, man.
Well,
we're allowed to shake hands. You're not scared because I'm unvaccinated.
Your security checked your vax pass at the door, right? Okay. See ya.
All right, man. Cheers.